Welcome back after the high tea. Now we'll be having the last lecture, lecture 10 of the workshop. It will be important properties of functional food. So I now invite Dr. Rao to kindly proceed with lecture 10.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Let's go to our next lecture. Okay. The digestive system, we discussed about the digestive system the other day, and the GI tract, how food is being absorbed. And so, starting from the interaction of food from chewing, this is called mastication. Saliva comes to construct, and protein doesn't get digested in that because it's alpha amylase. So it basically starts digestion. It goes to the GI tract, and most of the protein interacts with the pepsin. Then the protein in pancreas, the hydrolysates taking place. And you can clearly read here, chewing is saliva, how the food mastication. Just going to see. Look at this here. So most of the enzyme in the stomach acts in that. The way the residence time of the giant, the pH is at acidic condition when the protein being interacts with the food, and not completely going to the food digestion in the selector is another area shifting the focus. So giving an idea the food digestion here. So what is the metabolites coming in? The gastric juice here, the stomach, we have pepsin and HCl. Even though you are eating any kind of food, any protein-rich food, your pH is different. It has to pass through that system. That is that which is being standardized. Every food has to interact that. Then the peptides being cleaved, then we talk about enzyme hydrolysis. So here the enzymes, whether in the stomach, the gastric juice, they hydrolyze the proteins. The peptides being released, then the amino acids are bioavailable. That insert in the bloodstream. So in this diagram, you can see the different color codes are there, and differentially when the food being digested, the digestion of what kind of particles absorbed what in the GI tract, you can see how it is moving to that. So what we discussed about the functional food, initially what is functional food, what code says, and then we discussed about the nature of the functional food, what are the key drivers of functional food, what are the gaps, challenges, and the scientific and positioning product. Dr. Sharma has some of the new areas emerging together. It's a real challenge. Food cannot be decided upon not only looking at one aspect. It's a multi-component nature. We have to understand the whole scenario. Then only one product will be coming out. Not only that in that approach. So if you look at the biological antimicrobial properties, so what are those? It has to be supported with data, whether you are in vitro or in vivo. Like nowadays, proteins are being used and applied commercially in synergistic. You can give an example. One of the antimicrobial peptides, you all know that antimicrobial peptides are in there. So the lactoferrin is from the whey protein. Then colostrum, we discussed about the colostrum. You can tell, I was talking about immunoprotection of calf. When the baby, the cow gives birth, the calves, the milk comes, the colostrum will reach in some of the essential nutrients, the essential nutrients that can fight this different disease, the immune protection. And that protein content is best in the colostrum with different composition than the normal milk. The lactation period we discussed C3, C4 plant, and the fluctuation of seasonal fluctuation of milk. And if you standardize it, the milk composition at the end is average out. That's the bifidobacteria growth. You know, we talked about probiotic here. Probiotic means code says is 108CF colony forming unit has to have some active bacteria. Every strain is not provided. It has to be clinically proven. Somebody writes this contains ABC culture. ABC means Acidophilus, Bifidobacterium, and Casei. So it says that ABC culture. You can ask whether they are active or not, immunoactive, whether they are provided. So that's a misleading clause. It has to be clinically proven. And those Bifidobacterium gives immunoprotection. So they incorporate into any of the food. So like if you have suppose beefarels for Indian context, we can have buttermilk formulation with probiotic added into that, and you can add any flavor molecule like strawberry and other flavor. So you have a healthy beverage. You get your phospholipids, and same time you get your the protein, and also you get your probiotic there. That's the key new product. So it's so then you can compete with other people. Then coming to antiviral activity, lactoferrin whey protein concentrate. Now, antiviral if one through it has 900 strains that can cause flu. Doctor says you take a shot, particularly an injection for during flu season. It might give protection for some section of flu, some strain of flu, but not all the strain that are being mutated over a period of time. So it's a broad type of protection. But if you have these are the protein present in that they have antiviral activity. Coming to anti-cancer activity. Sorry to say, the cancer rate has grown over the year. So we do not know exactly scientific community how to treat it. So I will not answer that thing. But where is that how to prevent that? We have been discussing the other day, second day I think, that how people are getting that into that system. So the real challenge that how we can to dietary system we can have some protection over a period of time. You cannot eat at certain age, but you have to start from that's why when infant formula, then we adolescent phase and the young age and the healthy aging. Food cannot be in isolation. So it's a continuous process. Everybody has the different, when we talk about personalized nutrition. So it has the clinical proven some of the whey protein have anti-cancer properties. We haven't talked about bioactive peptides. Immunomodulating activity means in the mice model they have proved immunomodulation. So a lot of biologically active whey protein application has been taken place in this space. Continuing with that, promotion of growth and some animal cells, lactoferrin, and opioid activity. I'll talk about opioid activity here. Casomorphin. I'll talk about nocturnal milk. If you go back to calf again, they drink different. If you analyze the morning milk of cow with that compared with the composition of evening milk, just after the sunset, you remember that after the sunset, the composition of milk is completely two different things. That's called nocturnal milk. This German scientists discovered this the first time. So they said the precursor of that is over the more casomorphin form, the calf takes the milk and they don't fall asleep. So there is when they wake up in the morning, the more active they are. They don't make any disturbance when they're in the hour. So that way science developed. Then people have isolated that compound. Since this is a summary of things that we are discussing, so I'll quickly wrap up what we have been discussing in activity and biological functional property. Secondary markers. Suppose we're talking about the what is the recommended protein? Many people have asked and then in the mind discuss how much actually I will take, but that's software I can really forward. But this is chart here. This individual here, like he can take some protein, but you have to go look into their body weight and BMI you have to look. So a lot of factors are there. Please see in the some physician you can advise you properly. But by this guideline you can also follow. The same thing they will tell you. So sedentary workers, if I am sitting every day in front of my screen, how much protein I can eat? I am also burning some of my energy. Standing is also like we talked about the idea of The school kids spending whole day in school instead of sitting in the bench is to burn their fat and so they're not falling obese. It's a big challenge school quit taking the BMIs jumping. So it's a big challenge. I'm not sure in India that's an issue, but everywhere that's growing there. So, so the government is talking about you make them walk. So they have to in the field. My son, when he comes back, he asks, why are you going to wait today? We have sports outside. It was raining, but he'll say we have sports outside. Means it's in the outdoor activity. Even though it rains, he has to report there in the field. It's 1 hour sport in the field. Then they have to play. Whether they fall sick or not, that's the decision. So individual regular activity. So if you keep somebody jogging there, because you are burning more, you need more energy. Like athletes, their diet pattern is completely different than ours. They need more energy, sustain mass. So growing women, they need more energy. That's just, I was asking about who needs more protein, men or women. I think we discussed that women need more protein here, not men. Okay, so you have to power speed athletes, bodybuilders, and then weightlifters. That's the marathon they are doing. Like you have to complete 25-kilometer marathon, then you need more energy. It does not mean that you're bulky. So this is the way this classification done. So benefit of whey protein sports nutrition. What are the key benefits? Means that easily digestible, high quality protein. If you have a protein which is slowly digestible and you have to do physical activity in the morning and you work, you do not get all the energy. So you are not performing at 100% level. Sports nutrition is that with GIAN. So you immediately take it, it's bioavailable and active. Then you go to your exercise room or any activity, so you get the energy. So this BCC is a branch chain amino acids. So this gives all the checks and the pyramid you're looking for. Some of the essential amino sulfur containing essential amino acids are there. The components are there. And also stimulate the body mass and decline the body fat. That's what I'm talking about slimming. If you take some protein and you are gaining weight, means it's not designed properly. Means I am accumulating fat in the body and I'm becoming obese. So you are making me fall sick rather than making me healthy. Then the question is that you are not gaining weight there. So but you have to follow that chart. This reduces stress also. Feel good hormone that reduces stress. So other biopeptide derived from whey protein. Whey protein I discussed in the beginning, beta-lac, alpha, and the other protein BSL. So if you look at these fragments, that's when OPED let it fall asleep, those are sleep deprived. For the children, they consume this kind of like tryptophan, because over the counter medicine. So it's something like that, OPED. But do not try anything without consulting a physician. That's the key message. We talked about calcium. Dr. Sharma asked the question, what about calcium? We cannot discuss nutrition, only protein as such. We have other components, vitamins and then calcium and iron and micronutrients. So we have to discuss the calcium. We are not cheats. Like every day in school, milk, we say like milk is a rich source of calcium and then the protein. So that's what we have. Milk is one emulsion. There are different protein complex systems, not very easy to analyze this. Then you have cottage cheese. It's a good source of calcium. So whey protein is also a good source of calcium. These are the recommended values for calcium. So if you look at the whey ingredients here, whole milk powder has that much calcium content milligram, and the recommendation is here. So you can feel how much typical calcium I need and how much dairy ingredients I have to take. Get that. You can get your own answer, but the software will actually do it for you. The same thing in the software form. If you feel that, it will give you all the things. You have to say, I want to put my milk on my yogurt. Then after that, how much yogurt you want to take. And the breakfast, maybe like 30 grams I take. Maybe I want 1 cup, what is that, 100 ml. You have to write like that. Then the software tell you, okay, this much thing you are taking, and then you have to add more milk. You need to take another cup of milk. They will tell you like this. Intuitive software, interactive. So amino acid content effect of hydrolyzed whey protein. So we are talking about the whey protein is composed of this beta-lactam and glycolipids. So this is branch chain amino acids and other amino acids present for the growth. So this that the GSH is basically essential for protein. Most of us cannot enter. I will discuss in that chat, but these definitions you have to remember. Then only the next graphs we can go through quickly. Means it prevents free radicals. What is free radical I'm talking about? You stress, when you stress anybody, the free radical will form. And if you have antioxidant within the body, the antioxidants will fight against this free radical. Like phagocytosis is taking place, white blood cells, when something antigen for antigen comes, they fight for that. Like it gives immune protection. So if you have, when we generate stress for something, the free radical forms. In the free radical forms, then the chaos system starts. Then confusion, think lack of concentration, lack of sleep. This is a normal activity. So if you have a dietary system, like healthy body, diet and exercise, and rest is also important, like sleep, like normal healthy 7 hours sleep. So if you some sleep deprived, and then this thing occurs, and then nutrient is key. So all are key here. Well, you cannot take isolation. Then we are talking about hydration. 8 cups glass of water would take, and 1 glass. Students are not drinking enough water. My son is also an example. So coming back to hydrolyzed protein. So we. How the blood pressure is being regulated. So anti-hypertension activity is inhibiting angiotensin and converting enzyme 1, which regulates the blood pressure to renin angiotensin system RAS. That's the hormone basically. That detected blood pressure, the hormone is secreted to liver, killed by angiotensin AC1 and activate the peptide. You can read the mechanism. How the blood pressure. I think I mentioned that few weeks back, Nobel Prize awarded this blood pressure medication, and the scientific Nobel Prize awarded for the Alzheimer's disease. So please, they know the complete mechanism and how the possible way this thing happens. These are clinically documented. So let us go to soy protein hydrolysis. It can give protection against dry cough, skin rashes, and angioedema, food-based bioactive peptide, because it's a low-cost alternative to treatment of hypertension. Means hypertension now, the latest medicine, they have some of the amino acids combined with the some of the double treatment that we cannot go detail in what they're doing now. So these are the peptides there in enzyme hydrolyzed protein fermented soy products being indigestion with genes historically included soy sauce, soybean paste, tempeh, natto, and of course I tell about this is Japanese food actually, fermented food. The soy sauce is invented in Japan. Tempeh is like Indonesian fermented food. Soybean paste, we make mustard paste, they make soybean paste. And I think they have a similar butter seed, something the Japanese spell like for the mustard paste. So the contrast is here. Soy protein has gained prominence, and soya-based milk, the beverage is like they are shifting from dairy to non-dairy systems. Some people are vegan, so this is the best source for them. So not only in India, and also other parts of the areas that people are constantly focusing on there. So high protein bakery is one system where we can deliver these peptides. So what are the biological values of the protein in that? So biological values is basically how the essential and non-essential amino acids are derived. So particularly I showed you 10 protein efficiency ratio. You can see the biological value for the soy protein is 74, casein is 104 ratio. Means the amount of nitrogen that is consumed to amount of nitrogen that is being absorbed. Comparison. You can see whey protein is much more higher than comparison to soy protein. In the very beginning, I told you we'll be discussing about soy protein versus whey protein. Some of the slides I showed you protein energy efficiency ratios fits very well here in this data. 1 gram protein is efficiency ratio for soy protein, in this case, and this. Suppose you can say that equivalent how many grams you are taking in that. So not only protein is being taken up by the growing adults, at the same time infants also need that. Just to highlight that every age group. Let's see some of the examples taken from literature, the functional peptides of soy protein. This is a papaya and other enzymes being used here to produce hydrolysates. It has antioxidant activities. They have control the lipid level, anti-cancer, and so you can see whether it's a defective soy protein or soy flour, doesn't matter, but it has properties. Means it's a good source for that. Now let us move to whey protein isolate versus soy protein isolate. Effects in human, effectively human nutrition. So if you look at the composition of protein, whey protein isolate, so whey protein and isolate soy protein, 97 to 92, more purified protein here. You look at the moisture, I was talking about the moisture in the material property, almost same here. The protein quality, this is the pedic acid equation there, so this one here. Next go to the graphs here. I discussed about what the protein does. So look at the whey protein is declining here, and whey protein increasing, soy protein declining here. I will be coming to some of the solubility aspect, gelatin aspect, and other aspects in the graphical format, so you can understand. Okay. Total cholesterol. You look. Somebody want to control cholesterol. Whey protein is comparatively better than the soy protein here. And then the idea is to just to compare this thing. HDL and so same function here. Triglyceride. So it's slightly better. I have a comparison table at the end. Thyroid function, okay. So thing is that giving in human nutrition, the common way of comparing is like blood pressure, blood glucose, blood lipid, and then the thyroid, because these are the normal routine things that doctor is screen. That's why I'm comparing in those examples. I have already discussed emulsification, gelatin, education, all the things, but ultimately I'm talking about now this. So you can feel something is good, something is slightly different, but they have. And now we come to the solubility of protein as effect of pH. We discussed near the PI isoelectric point, the solubility is like a dense of tau, the least soluble, higher from PI, more protein is soluble. If you whey protein across the range of pH, soluble slightly depressed in case of near the PI. In comparison to soy, soy is least soluble at this the PI range, And compared to soy and other protein, like the whey protein is completely solid. Means you can dissolve that in here, can formulate a product with an acid, alkaline, or neutral. Whey protein stands out. That's the idea. Then some of these other functionality, like emulsification. So, like here in the ice cream in the industry, and beverages, marriages, if you read carefully the composition now, they will have one or other. That's what the marketing has benefit. It lowers the cholesterol here. So, gelatin also in these products, particularly in the meat and dairy products such as processed cheese, food, and yogurt. Gelatin, that is talking about weighing out preventing synergism. These are the clinical trials. Any study has to be substantiated clinical trials, then it will be accepted by the consumer. The ethics body has to approve it before it goes to clinical trials. Once the ethics body approves it, once the clinical data is ready, then the production will be delivered to market. So, these are the list of clinical trials that have been conducted, and some of the results summarized here using the this whey protein. So some of the examples of functional components. So I was talking about prebiotic and probiotic, and then we talked about whole food. So prebiotic is in any of the fructooligosaccharides, and then the probiotics, we talk about APC like Acidophilus, Bifido, and other bacteria present. So it can have a certain yogurts contain that. And then fruits and garlic. What are the sources like this? Like prebiotic, you know, garlic, onion, honey, banana, and then fortified food. So they've been added into some of the food format. Then how to present soy protein here. That list continues, then coming on to, okay, let's talk about broccoli here. Sulfur, what it does really, like glucosamine, somebody has joint pain, and it's a common issue now, joint pain, somebody has my pain in my knee or hand or something. If someone is taking continuously broccoli, it will give protection against that. And the compounds that have been stored in the pharmacy derived from that. So, other the micronutrients also being discussed about that. I'm just giving clear example, but this slide summarizes how we feel about the components. So the list goes like that, vitamin and thiamine and all. So just to highlight that food cannot be complete without having the complete picture of all the macro and micronutrients, not only protein itself. So that's why we started with a simpler molecule, understanding simple molecule, simple model, selecting grain protein one, and one from dairy protein, then moving towards characteristics, and then complete food, then functional applications, starting a simpler system to complete system, and micro and macronutrients. The vitamin D here and E, folic acid. So what are the functional properties here? So maybe this is the functional property emulsification deletion. That's by molecular size reduction and mineral interaction. So these are the list of things. So basically, soy protein being used in the industry. Then coming to hydrolysates. The enzymes used here, it may be plant-based or microbial-based. It may be certain isolate here. So you can see hydrolysate is giving protection of a long range of codes. Between pepsin and papain here and combine here with SPI. So this slide has been taken from literature about the data available and then summarize the results. Coming to steps for bringing functional food to the market. So it's a long, that we have been talking about, it's very easy, just hydrolyze the protein in the lab, then take that fraction and put in your tray and then go to cell. It's not like that. 10 years in between. Yeah, so just from one protein to the product in between is 10 years minimum. So yeah, so if you can see, because it has to pass through the clinical committee, ethical committee will approve it to conduct the trials. You need PC1, PC2, PC3 laboratories, and PC4 laboratory. Then once the clinical data goes to large cohort, how much cohort you have, then you have all these things is there, background. So a lot of study has to then the big team is required for that. Then the cycle is like this. Titrated analysis, you know that. Preclinical screening, clinical trials, product development, marketing, then they're conducting the market surveillance. That's the cycle. Thank you. Any questions?
So there was a data which is showing that lactose increased calcium absorption. It was like that. So when you give a type of food which lacks doesn't have lactose or less of lactose, so the calcium absorption will be affected. Okay. Is there any general range of hydrolysis for the proteins to give a specific type of product overall? It varies from one protein to another, but is there a range that is normally there? Like in one case, you see that it is 19.4 to 63.4%. So a protein hydrolyzed it has one hydrolysis, and the property is that it has got highest antioxidant activity. So is it defined that this is the usual range for
Yeah,
the
that's the
antioxidant?
range you will be looking. Because the antioxidant property will be derived by the peptide that they are using. So they have categorized it and hydrolyzed producing that it will have maximum effect. So if you are looking for some of the antioxidant, so you have to have that kind of system in the place.
Is it there for generally for like for whey protein, for soy protein, that this should be the range? Is there something or is it general case for all the proteins?
Not general. So each protein has different because
Is there a range normally whether it should be higher degree of hydrolysis or towards the lower end? So 62.4
lower higher degree. Generally lower degree is suitable, but you have to optimize how to the lower one for that.
You have shared a lot of graphs regarding that how whey and soy proteins have different amount of glutathione and triglycerides, cholesterol, and hydroxysteine, right? But I really don't understand what is the meaning of these zero.
Zero means the control one.
Control one was because you are putting one x-axis, week 0, week 6, and week 12. Okay. So week 0, what it will be basically?
Which start point? Start point.
So in all of the graphs, most of the start point varies. So it means that if we are already starting the different conditions, Like one group is having 75 degrees of glutathione, second is having 65. And then we start adding, giving Whey and so. And then after 12 weeks, the first graph, it reaches to a common point. So if we have started with the same data set, means you can say uniform data point, then it will be a better comparison because you know glutathione, it has started with 75 and after week 12, it reaches around 12. But in case of Whey protein, initially it was 65 and it reaches to 70. So there can be two possibilities. That one is that 75 at the when they have started, it was slightly higher. And in another group, when we have given Whey, it was lower. And we have given the protein, it has increased. So, but that is very easy to understand that they can equilibrate your GS level. But just stating from this particular graph, stating it, that which protein isolates is having better applicability is really difficult. Same with other graphs.
Yeah, the similar data with the data.
Because 0 point, they should have the same data point. Because all the graphs, even if you look at the triglycerides, that one data point in the base is in the normal range, and the second group, data group, is basically having the triglyceride level higher than the normal conditions. 180 is the critical point, it is having 210. So means we are experimenting one protein in a normal group and one protein in disease. So I really don't know what we basically want to understand from this particular.
So something will have the effect at some point. Something
That is coming up.
that is the point here.
Okay, so it means that if we use the Whey, if we are take an example of triglyceride. If we are having hyperglycemia, hypertriglyceridemia, it means that the saturation is high, then we should go for soy protein. Or when we are having the lower level of triglyceride or normal range, then we can go ahead with the Whey protein.
With this graph, one thing is very evident that at whatever consumption you start, after some week, few weeks, you see it comes to normal. So both the values come to they merge at certain point after 12 weeks or isn't it normal graph. So whether you take a Whey protein or
Taking out from one graph is okay. Every graph has a different story.
say that in case of
Take an example of iron.
see, every graph is every page you say one thing is two things is evident. One is we have started at two levels, one at lower level and one at higher level. And the graph shows that there is reduction in the concentration after taking these proteins from two different sources. So, but our one thing is not clear. Which protein is good because after 12 weeks, results are same.
Yes.
After 12 weeks, results are same. So both Whey and soya having same.
Such solubility.
They are having the antagonistic effect in most of the cases.
Some.
In most of the cases.
In
And
the case of
thyroid,
thyroid,
is totally different. They are totally different.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I want to know what is the basic meaning of these.
Only for the solubility, it's clearly indicated that whey protein isolate stands out. Other cases, you can see some soya has some benefit compared to whey. So it's not only that the rule that whey protein isolate is the better option in comparison to soy protein, but if you're looking for the product application in the food format, where form solubility an issue, you should have soy protein isolate in the formulation, which across the pH range, invariably any product will function the same way.
both are again same.
Same.
I agree with your point, but you see the two different data points for two different data sets, different you can say variables. Is out of right? They don't understand.
It is based on some previous work which for selection of the values at y-axis.
Yeah, this
For previous
but
works,
it's not just normalized
to start.
the baseline version.
Okay.
Basically, it is a randomized trial. So normally it is a range. For example, if you take animals,
or any human statistic. We take the rate of individual levels constant at one particular value. We take a range. The range is slightly higher, so the graph bar is basically enlarged. So we find that the variation is too big. But if you look at in some cases, it's only 5 milligram, 3 milligram. But in some cases, it's 10. The range is not very skewed.
But in case of Hydrolysates,
Only that is 150 to 2.
but generally in experimentation, when you do the experiment, you won't take that type of things.
So, but we don't take that. This is not true for equation.
Because it means that we have taken only two samples. Because generally you take the population. At that time in the population, we generally get a almost similar.
Here we don't. Here is not for the standard deviation. Actually,
That's what I think.
like this is the
So
standard
it means that if that experiment has been carried out with only one sample.
Or at least this graph should have got the values with the dots and because delta is not, but there's no points given on this should be standard.
That's why the graph has not been used. Which making it really difficult to
Otherwise, the range wise is not a big situation. It's basically, and it's not that in one case it is always on higher scale, in the other case it's on lower scale. It's either way.
I want to just one more about the
Yeah, but sir, actually the graph should have got the standard deviation values. Plots exactly plots.
Exactly. In animal trials, without standardization, the data is not.
The data set, the
Not
high
accurate
set is
because
there.
there is very huge error in this.
conclusion varies.
Varies.
Because having a straight line and making it actually is that.
Not even
Because we have to find proper p-value statistical value.
Yes, sir. I agree because not only 5, 3 or 5, not only typical, normally we take typical, but in that model, that is 5 and set of 3, it's 15. 5, 5, 5, 6, 15, and then take standard deviation and 3 all those you have to evaluate the data. So that is not there. And as I discussed with Dr. Rock, it is other work done by other group of people. It's not his own work.
One more thing that protein efficiency ratio, biological value of protein, that slide. You mentioned one thing, protein efficiency ratio. Which is it's a ratio indicates increase in body weight as intake of 1 gram of protein. So how basically what is the meaning of protein efficiency ratio like 2.04 soy protein, 2.5 protein and 3.0 for whey protein?
Just the let's compare the means which protein is not performing well in comparison to other proteins like whey, casein, or soy. That's the conclusion there.
I agree with your part that it's a simple comparative analysis, but just to understand it, basically what we could derive from protein efficiency. Like I am saying 2.0 protein efficiency ratio of soya instead of comparative, it's a general information. So it means that if I take 1 gram of soya protein, my mass will increase by 2 grams. What is that's why I want to understand what actually this 2 value means. Yeah.
The value means that the whey protein you will be adding more, the bioavailability will be more in the whey protein. Soy protein, that's the efficiency ratio. That's why when I showed about the efficiency ratio of milligram per 100 grams at the bar chart, the egg protein is number 1, coming to whey protein.
And bioavailability
Viability of butter.
But here, statements like that is totally different because here we are talking about the body weight.
Yes.
Because viability is another, you can say, here. Because the amount of nitrogen that is consumed to the amount of nitrogen that is absorbed, the values are 74, 71, and 104. 104. Okay. So if it is 74, so what we have calculated, we have taken started with 100 grams of nitrogen, and out of that 74 might be incorporated. Like you want to say that was the difference.
Just if you take the whole at 100, then that was percentage is available. That's taken out.
It's the opposite.
Is that?
Like we have divided total nitrogen intake by amount of nitrogen absorbed. Is it the same for this side? We have divided the nitrogen absorbed divided by total nitrogen intake.
I think it's written there at the top in the very beginning of the part, how it is calculated. Any more questions from anybody? Any doubt? Any more to discuss? Any project ideas or something like that? You're currently doing, I can be any of that.
If you want to work on these aspects like functional food or food fortification or any one, because these are different, these different type of experiments. So can you throw us some light on what are the equipment and which type of lab should be there? So that we can think about starting small experiments for our industry for their education. That would be helpful.
Right, most student will take, like you give them purification part, let them purify the protein, pure system, but purification don't need to have 100% pure protein. Can be, let's say, if it's a legume based or cereal based, follow the personal classification of protein purification protocol, like water consumption, salt consumption, fractionation. So it involves centrifugation and dialysis, and two things. So everybody has. Then they can lyophilize the powder, till rare, then they'll store it. The same practice at refrigerator condition is 1 year. So then coming to functionality, they have different fractions. A lot of study has been done on those protein. People are constantly working on that. It should be like some new variety of crops indigenous to India, like millet, rice, and special varieties from high crop, one that to breeding very high varieties. But when one has different protein, then relate to functionality. Then you should have some absolute control. Functional solubility and obesity doesn't require any instrumentation, but that will be a good investigations for that. The purification plus one or two functionality. Of course, if you want to build that, you don't want the data, the effort and time have to put by the next student. The supervisor can publish that result after taking some additional work. Additional work means they have to look into the structure of that protein, the additional work, where we do different thoughts. We need simple experiment done, purification plus functionality, e-functionality. Then you get the pH, what's happening in that. So we send again for usually, look at pH, then you get the temperature, then we measure why we are looking, why we are studying pH and temperature. Optimize condition will be that. Then building some simplification there. Then if you come to the next step, go on to the functional aspect, then you have to produce the peptide. Then you have to challenge the peptide. Then I get, for example, peptide is from it can be purified sure, or you can design your own experiment, collect the peptide. So, for example, best way of purification. You concentrate enzyme is stable now, temperature increases. Then do an enzymatic assay, how much is temperature in that. Then calculate and put and drag and then the optimize the concentration, pH and time temperature. Then characterize the hydrolysis. That is the build whole thing. The PA has to take that around. But if you can distribute that like one looks the purification and the solubility, other students look at the hydrolysis. We have to play on the effort. So two students parallel working in two different aspects. But if you have a base material, then you can do. But purification both can do. So they can do. If you look, normally the project will be how long?
Okay, 6 months, but sometimes it extends to 1 year because students come, they
Okay, 1 year is a good time to do some work. They can do that, but this work is specifically what to do in the course of the work. They so whole data set the PR will have, and PR can publish. My idea is not the data set and time invested money. So each student can work alongside so they can get the credit and publication and anything else. So that's right, that's good. Instead of just using a student. Yeah, that's the best one. So it can be very good PhD. Then microbial analysis will be there. Now, see how the very big area, maybe 2 miles
expiry articles. Saving the dollars. Okay, now.
Anybody wants to ask any questions?
Okay, now.
Previous lectures also.
OTP.
Any concept.
Phone रखूँ जब
So I look into the titles of the
Forward
previous
कर
lecture and ask something which you could ask at that time. Title of all the lectures. So it is very important.
Can you repeat the difference between the isolate and concentrate?
Okay, isolate is the less body fat also have more soluble compared to the concentrate. During the purification process, if I using aqueous system for extraction of the protein, then it will that's a concentrate is just a good format of this protein. That's why we have 30%, 50%, 80%. But if you look at the isolate, it's 90%. Because for the purification process. The different protein concentration like 30%, we have WBC 30 with 30% protein, the rest are 70% other things. So here 90 to 93% you are getting all these proteins. That is more expensive than the compared to the other protein. Okay, just a couple of minutes. Sharma requested to say some of because most of the work that we do has commercial angle. So commercial angle means we are bound by the law of the company, the organization as well as the industry they support us. So most of the work has been protected, so I cannot able to say what is available in the published work we have done on the published. And the industry is a partner with that, so we cannot share that vision. And I work with 8 different industry big. So I have signed in dotted line, I would say. So the lot of work they support for 3 years and 4 years, so this cycle goes like that. So just quickly said the listing technology, since we have been discussing about different products, serial-based product. One product we developed for this technology, they are the major player in the, cereal and bakery industry. And like we eat chapati, they like bread there, so different kind of bread. So the bread has to be healthy. So the people are becoming obese and pre-diabetic and the diabetes is increasing. So how to tackle that problem? So the real challenge is to have a food in the real format because these are three challenges, but that will be designed product in the real food format. So being easily accessible means available readily and anybody can eat it. Any group, age group, any age group. That's the first one. Second, what is the key health lifestyle disease? Target only one. If we have additional control, then that's bonus for us. We are not targeting multiple things here. So we targeted to control the blood sugar. So initially we designed simple format. We designed bread, that's normally happening. Whole wheat flour. Then we have to have what is new, like guava, the cluster beans from specifically large small polysaccharide. So we blended with the guava, then we designed it starts with gluten ratio. When you have guava in that, the gluten network develops in progressive. When you hydrate we're making chapati, there are water to dough. So molecule is being taken by the gluten. The gluten molecule forms a network and starch molecule goes inside. Then starch protein interaction checks. That's what starch protein interaction. It's one of my areas. Starch protein interaction and protein and starch how it works. Like my area is protein and starch and biomolecules. Because I'm a material scientist basically. All the molecules start behaving, starting from raw materials to finished product. So in that way, this molecule then we start incorporating the guaiacol. The guaiacol was competing to bind with the potential binding of water goes to guaiacol. If the potential binding water goes to guaiacol, the matrix, the microstructure will be giant, is falling apart. Which is the low volume, the palatability, the texture, and all the properties will be changing. So this is part of food and nutrition. Even my area is food and nutrition, my core is this. All the ingredients and how they behave, whether starch and protein, the key ingredients and the So then we look at structure, what is the concentration there? Then the guaiacol is competing with the water molecule. Then most of the water is being taken by guaiacol. As a result, hydrolysis networks are not taking place for the gluten. So starch matter is coming. Then you cannot pour more water. It can be processed. Then have balance pattern. Then we design in such a way. Then we have to study how we overcome that way. Then we have to experiment and then go to the then begins actually and the wheat comes in profluoro thing, goes to 40 feet, 50 feet high, whole wheat and the drop that will dump into the cycle. They don't put in that here. They just jump. And that I have visited 2-3 times the factory in Sydney, one of my colleagues. So then the bakery industry comes. Then when the food is come, then we have to get the volume. Then we have to go design the in vitro digestion model. Then we have vaccine and real digestion in vitro system, how the food is being digested, then we have to look. Then we analyze all the parameters. Then in vitro model, then we establish that this is the molecule is working in the real system. Then I was interested in one project they excited. Then we start with Janthan. Then that the second project was funded. Then we blended Janthan with guaiacol. Then we went to another level. Then we got successful 3 different product names. Then I was supposed to present that result in a Hydrolysates international conference in Singapore. I got an invitation to chair a conference and present that. The conference, the conference says that we cannot publish that. The idea is that we can neither publish most of the data that we want cannot be published because the company doesn't want others to replicate that because they invested heavily. So in that, they went to product competition in Europe, and they got the hour there in one of the And this is one of the most consuming bread now. So it's that way the things work.
Already overcome the problem of the competition for the library.
Yeah. If you have that competition, it's the concentration matters there. This gluten molecule is competing with the water. Water uptake is not taking place. The low hydration means you allow to stand, you put water, hydrated, then yeah. Require from the best.
I think we can close the session. So now we'll be having the lunch break. We'll be here something here at 2:30 for the last tutorial of the workshop.